Hello, Aussie1 here. I am using this video as my challenge for egg number 16 for Earth 2 Egg Hunt 2022. I would also like this video to serve the purpose of highlighting how commonplace it is that users that submit for the egg entry, their egg entry is based on screenshots of existing egg entries as opposed to finding the original egg and taking a screenshot on their screen uh, of the egg in a video or image themselves. They are just copying someone else's hard work and putting their name on it. So the first one I'd like to highlight is uh, the Loba one. So we've got three different entries here for this image that seem to relate. So I took the COSO one and overlaid it, and you can see here that they match identically except for the name. So the only way that I can imagine this would happen is if a screenshot was taken and then before placing the name on there, that image was shared, and then each player or user put their name on top of that image that was shared. So sharing images and collaborating for the egg locations, I believe, is against the rules. So if that is what happened here, I think both of these users should be disqualified. And then you've got the Sumit, and with the Sumit, you could see here, let's turn it on and off. Okay, so it looks like it's very similar, but the main sign that you could see these three red points here on that crop. So if we turn this one off, so those red points, those actually line up with the Loba name. So these red points. We can zoom in a little bit to see that a little bit better if we want. So yeah, the mistake made there was the user didn't quite crop out the tops of these three letters when they did their crop. So uh, that's that's proof that this user had used the Loba image as a starting point and then cropped and put their name on it. So to the next one, we've got the dim L. And actually, to summarize here, I believe all three of the red entries should be disqualified. The top two, because it appears that they shared an image with each other prior to putting their names on it and then posted, back to back. And then the third one, because it was a straight copy of the original Loba entry. So then dim L, let's turn that one on. Zoom out here. Okay. So for the dim L entries, I've tied Frobex and Holding and Ezio Dork Slayer amongst and some a few others that are outside of the top 11 here, uh, just to try to prevent them from submitting uh, their own to get on the list. So anyway, let's go one by one. Okay, so Frobex, let's turn that one on. Okay. And this one, in my opinion, is the easiest one to tell because it was a screenshot that was taken um, or it was a picture of dim L's screen, in which they circled the egg, and then everyone else essentially cropped within the circle, or even used the circle but cropped out the dim L name and put their name next to it. And you'll see what I mean here in a second. So again, you can see this is at an angle, the colors match and everything. So, and let me turn off this main image so you can see that. Okay, so here is Frobex's entry. Let me turn on the dim L. You can see it matches up perfectly. So then let's turn that off and go to holding. So holding, uh, they at least were tricky enough to rotate the image 90 degrees. So I had to rotate their entry on Twitter 90 degrees to get this to line up. But at exactly 90 degrees, you can see I get it to line up perfectly. Let's go to the Ezio Dork Slayer. This one's even easier because Ezio actually even used the existing circle. So you can see there, that one's pretty darn obvious. Okay, now the next three, these are in order, just outside the 11, but pretty close to being top 11. So I thought I would just show how they are also using the same dim L original image. And this one you can tell, see that nice little red corner there? That's also an indicator. That helped me line up this overlay. Okay, let's turn that off. Let's go to the Hall Fleck. Again, same concept. So just cropped within this circle, put their name on it, and called it good. Now let's do Earth2 Tycoon. Okay, yeah, same deal, except for they cropped even tighter. Okay, so that covers that one. So right now, the way that I see it is, let's click on this, is that they'd be disqualified, they'd be disqualified. They're good, disqualified, 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 disqualified. Okay, so right now we've got Dim L as the winner of this challenge, if you agree with me. Um, Now let's do start with the Meta Earth Dork Slayer, and then also look at the other two that are tied to it, the Ono Fricio and uh, Ghetto Dak. So let's turn that on. Okay. So here's the Meta Earth Dork Slayer entry, and then the Ono. Uh, you can see that. So so this one, I don't know that I could say with 100% certainty that Ono cropped inside of this circle, but if you look at the size of it, it just stays within this circle, so none of that circle is shown. And the colors line up very well. The resolution is a little bit different between the two, but that happens with scaling. So I think that Ono uh, used Meta's original entry and cropped it out and put their name on it. That one I can't say for sure. So let's turn that one off. Now let's turn on Ghetto DAC. So Ghetto DAC, uh, they actually, their original entry, let me pull that up. Their original entry was elongated like this, which, changed the perspective of that egg entry. Uh, so I had to squish it back down to the correct aspect ratio. And another indicator is you can see this text here. It's in a different color. Generally, when you're taking these screenshots, especially quickly, you're going to have, when you create the circle, you're already going to have the color red selected. You're not going to take the time to change your name color to pink before you throw it on there. So this was a screenshot of the other entry, and then to crop out any identifiers from the other user, and then they place their name over the top here. So, and you can see after I've squished it back to the correct aspect ratio that this circle and exactly where all the jagged lines are and the edge and everything, it lines up perfectly with the original entry. So that would be very, very, very um, difficult to do by just by chance. Okay, and then so that covers those three. So let's turn those back off. Let's turn those off. Then we've got my entry here. I actually couldn't find any that had used my entry. I think part of the reason is a couple things. There were a couple better ones that existed. Um, I think the fact that my circle got really close to the egg actually prevented someone from doing a square crop without leaving signs that they were cropping mine out. So I think that yeah, some of the way that I did this actually prevented other people from using it. Uh, and then yeah, like I said, I didn't see anyone else that had used mine as an entry. So let's turn that off. Now, for a couple different ones that I saw that appeared to be actual winners that happened shortly after these top 11. Uh, and if you subtract, and actually let me draw that one. Okay, so right here we've got 4 people out of the 11 um, that I would say are still qualified to be entered in the competition, except for I think this person copied, but they didn't leave any signs that I could say for sure. So we'll leave them out of the crossed off list. So yeah, one of the next ones was Shane Isaac Toast. Uh, they seem to take an original screenshot. Um, Again, they circled near the egg, which helps prevent other people from copying without leaving signs. So we'll turn that one off. Then we got Blue Moon. They seem to have an original entry. There's no circle around it, but there's lots of space. There's no other example of an image before this that doesn't have a circle. So this appears to be um, the first of this sort of image. So we'll call that a win. And then we've got PDAV 99. Again, theirs is unique. They show much more of the image out this way than anyone else. You can also see as far as like where the bar is here versus where the bar is in this image. Like none of these three images line up with each other or match any previous entry. So these are three people that I would say would be eligible to be on this list. And I would say it's probably in order of number 5, 6, 7. And yeah, so that's my video. Um, I think quite a few of these people copied off of other people's entries and should be disqualified. And also, I would suggest that when judging future eggs, to use some of the techniques that I showed here to identify the people that are not following the rules. And uh, also, if you are making an entry and you don't want others to copy your entry, I think putting indicators or artifacts like a circle or starting your signature um, in or very close to the egg is a very good deterrent to keep others from copying your entry. Well, that's all I've got. Thanks for your time.